as opposed to just a sort of lobbyist or protest or campaigning group?
Yeah, okay, so we have at the moment a 5-stage plan. So our first stage was just raising awareness, which was basically starting up all the socials, the online survey, and our WhatsApp community. So in the 4 months since I started it, we have more than 250,000 followers now across socials. We have,
which is insane. I mean,
yeah.
It's like incredible, right?
I mean, to go from 0, it's not what I expected, but it also just shows how much demand. Unfortunately, like, it's very sad. Every day it's sad, but also, it's a two-sided thing, because on one side I'm happy for the growth, on the other side I'm so sad that there's so much demand for this. But yes, we have a WhatsApp community which is nearly 900 people now, I think, and our survey, which is almost 4,000 people have done our survey in over 100 countries, which is all about experiences, suggestions, like just ideas to shape HASSL and make sure it's every product like meets as much as possible what people want, and what people need. So that was like the stage 1. Stage 2 is what I'm launching in literally, well, I don't know how long it's on the 1st of March, so whenever this goes live, but on the 1st of March. So this is like our first revenue streams. One is basically merch that is designed to be very neutral, minimalist, sort of a unisex, so anyone can buy it, but it's also supposed to be very Instagrammable, all that kind of stuff, so it really raises awareness at the same time. And the second thing is workplace training programs, and this isn't for harassment in the workplace, this is on how to safely intervene as bystanders and just harassment awareness in general. So again, it's funded by businesses for employees. It also means that kind of there isn't this opt-out thing, like it's mandatory if they provide it to their team, and it makes the world safer for everyone because they're getting the training right, and over time it educates a lot of people, also provides funding to keep other initiatives free, that we're going to be launching in future. Stage 3 is basically, I'm trying to think what the overarching umbrella term was for it, but there's 3 things. So we're launching viral campaigns, which we're already in talks of partnering with artists and I guess celebrities and things like that on these viral campaigns to basically raise awareness of the problem, again, educate, that kind of thing. Second is free educational resources that are going to be on the website. Anyone can download them. Any tools or tech that directly help people are going to be free of use to the end user. So that's why we have all these revenue streams. I'm never going to charge women to be safe. I'm never going to charge men to learn more about being better allies. Like, that is not the case. So this is why we have to have these revenue streams. We're also working on brand partnerships, so we're in talks with quite a lot of big brands. Again, they will be funding these, so it's another way that the member of the public doesn't have to directly pay for it, and just keep it free. 4th stage is free education programs in schools, so that is especially like for younger boys, around consent, around systemic sexism, things like that, and kind of making sure these behaviours are tackled before they even get to the point of red pill content on the internet and all this kind of stuff. So that's a really key part of what we're doing. And again, like, this is why we're building these funding streams at the same time, because I don't want anyone to be like, we can't afford this as a school, or it's just so important. It needs to be free of charge to the end user. So again, this is why we're bringing in big companies, big brands, businesses, whatever, where they can potentially spare a bit more. And it's always just those who can afford to help that pay. And it's never a privilege to use something, right? Like, it's just equal access for people. And then the final stage is we are basically working on, which I can't tell like too much information because of IP and everything, but some reporting tech, which could completely change the way that people report incidents in terms of making it quicker, safer, easier, basically the intention is to lead to higher conviction rates, because we know that now the reporting rates are so low compared to how often this actually happens. and conviction rates are so low. Normally it's one person's word against another. This is, without going into too much detail, a way of building a case of multiple people against the same person, but removing the, I guess, difficulty of having to go and report it maybe as soon as it happens, having to file something that feels really real and formal, and you have to go and talk to police that you might not feel understand or empathize. So we're already working with, a lot of people that work in like cybersecurity, legal tech, like all this kind of stuff, and talking to police forces to basically create something that, as I say, like, yes, it's a big ask and a big hope, but that's why it's so important to build this mass audience that we can potentially have mass adoption once we launch the tech. So that was kind of like, that's the not end goal, because we'll continue to launch a lot more stuff, and obviously we've got other funding streams in the pipeline and everything. But yeah, it's so important to me to keep stuff free of charge. Like, that's the really big key part of it. So yeah. There you go.
So this is a really big mission, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm struck by not an irony, but it's a sort of, success would be no need for the business to exist anymore.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
which is interesting, right? Because most businesses want to be, you'd be delighted if this thing succeeded.
Yeah,
and of course we know the scale of the ambition is so big that that's not, you're not going to immediately.
Yeah, it's not going to happen in my lifetime, unfortunately. But and also, there's so many other avenues that I would love to expand into. Like, we're very focused on public harassment and public, like, incidents of assault, harassment, catcalling, whatever, in public spaces. But there is obviously a whole, like, I mean, in the UK alone, like, they've declared a national emergency on violence against women, right? And there is, domestic violence is growing. It's awful. Like, there is so much that needs to be done on that side of things. Online harassment is becoming, because of the nature of the world we now live in, becoming an ever-growing huge problem. Like, there's so many other spaces that we can go into with this thing that we're doing right now. It's like, and then just generally, like, gender inequality in so many spaces that, unfortunately, there is never going to be, not for a very long time, an end to the work that we need to do and we can do. So it's just about, like, continuously diversifying, addressing new problems. And I'm sure by the time, there'll be very much new problems, like with AI and stuff, that we're already seeing a lot of problems with that, in terms of, like, creating fake images of nude women and things like this. So, there's going to be new problems as well with the way that the world is changing. So yeah, I don't foresee an end, unfortunately, to HASSL, but that would be the dream. Yeah, if I could wrap it up, and I'd love to go tackle something else, because homelessness is a big thing for me as well. So I'd love to do something around that at some point, but one at a time.
And talk to me a little bit about the social. I mean, you talked about the tone of